Hello CraftDee Family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY project, we'll be creating some modern style decor that would be perfect for the shelf and the tabletop. Now these pieces all feature a clean modern look, and they incorporate neutral colors with wood, greenery, and stone accents. Now these all can be made with Dollar Tree supplies and other items that are less than $1. Now for your convenience, I provided a list of supplies and tools that I used to make these projects in the description box below. Now I'm so very excited to share this tutorial with you, but before we start, I wanted to say hey, and welcome back to my amazing subscribers and visitors to my channel. If you are a new visitor to my channel today and you love to create fun and easy DIY projects on a budget, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also click that little bell so you will be the first to know when I have a new DIY tutorial and it's ready to share with you. So now, let's get ready to jump right into these projects. Now we're going to make a 3-piece set of textured vases. Now we're going to need one of the 9-inch glass vases from the Dollar Tree. We'll need one of the 7-inch glass vases from the Dollar Tree and this small one that's a Valentine's theme. So we're going to go ahead and protect our work surface, and we're going to grab our white chalk paint. Now we're also going to grab some baking soda, and this is what we're going to use to create our textured paint. So we're just going to add a couple tablespoons of the white chalk paint to the container and 2 to 3 scoops of that baking soda, and we're going to mix these together. Now when you mix it, you want to get the consistency of a thick cake frosting. So now go ahead and grab one of your vases, and we're going to be applying this mixture just with a paintbrush, and we're going to apply it in a dabbing or stippling motion all over the vase. Now doing it this way will create a nice unique texture all over your vase. And here is what the texture will look like. So we're just going to go ahead and continue this until the entire vase is covered. Now you can go ahead and touch up any areas that may need it, and then you want to sit it to the side to dry. And then we're going to go ahead and repeat this process for the other 2 vases and mix more of that mixture as you need it. So here is the vase, the tall vase all dried. Here's the medium vase dried and the small vase. And you see, you don't see that Valentine's decor on it anywhere. Now to decorate these is really simple. You can go ahead and put a bundle of boxwood in those. You can also put some tap lights, and this gives it a unique look as well. It's all up to you. But here is what they will look like when they're placed out on display, and I love how they turned out. Now I think that this texture really adds character to these, and they really look like they have a stone finish. And you could even add tap lights or battery candles to the vases, and it really looks amazing when you dim the lights. Now you can use greenery and lights, one or both, it's all up to you. It just makes it have a very unique look, and it will lighten up your space. Now we will be making some tall planters. Now to make these, I'm going to be using these tall gift boxes left over from Christmas that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'll be using 4 packs of 98-cent paint sticks from Lowe's. So the first thing we're going to do is grab one of those boxes, remove the lid, and take one of the paint sticks to measure how long we're going to need to cut them. So I'm going to go ahead and mark where the cut line will be, which is level at the top of the box. And then I'm just going to compare this marking to the remainder of the packages. So I'm going to remove 16 of the sticks because that's how many we'll need to cover one box. Go ahead and level one of the edges of those sticks and then tape them all together so they won't shift out of place. And then take the stick with the measurements, and then you're going to butt it up to the other bunch. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be transferring that cut mark to the other bundle. So both bundles will be marked with that cut line. So now we're just going to take this out, cut that edge off, and as you could see, I did cut it, but I left about 1/8 of an inch longer because I want my stick to slightly stick right above the edge of the container. So now we're going to prepare to add these to the container, and as you notice, one side has the measurements and the other side is blank. So you do want to make sure that when you apply these to the container, you want to apply them with the measurement side down. Now 4 sticks fit perfectly on one side of the box, so that's why I calculated 16 for this project. Now just go ahead and add some of your hot glue to the marked side of your paint stick and apply it to the box. As you can see, it sticks slightly up just like we planned. And then you're just going to continue this process with the remainder of your paint sticks. And here is one side fully covered. Everything looks good, so we're just going to continue to do this for the remainder of the box. And now our box is fully covered with our sticks. Now I did notice at the corners there was a little gap, so I am just going to take some bamboo skewers that I had on hand. You can get these from Walmart for 88 cents, or you can get them from the Dollar Tree for $1, and I want to apply it in that little crack. So I'm just going to apply a little hot glue. I'm going to lay that bamboo skewer right into that little crack and then cut off the end piece. And that resolves that little issue. Now we're just going to complete this for the remainder of the cracks in the box, and everything looks nice and secure. Now you just repeat this whole process for the second box, and now we have 2 fully covered boxes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 2 of those extra paint sticks, and what we're going to do is use these to cover up those little gaps where the handle part of the paint sticks is. So we're going to cut our paint sticks off at 9 inches and then cut them in half at 4.5 inches, and this is how we get 4 of those sticks. Now 4.5 inches is perfect to fit one side of the box. Just apply some hot glue and place it right over those gapped areas. And then you just want to repeat this process around the entire box. And now all of the gap spaces are covered. Now take 2 more sticks and repeat this for your second box, and now these are ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to paint the inside, and I'm going to be using this black acrylic paint. Now I'm only going to be painting just about 2 or 3 inches, and I'm using these paper plates I got on clearance from Dollar General. They were in Christmas clearance for 30 cents. If anybody is interested, that's a super deal if you're just going to use them for painting. So now all we're going to do is paint the inside. I want to go down just about 2 or 3 inches from the edge, because we're going to be putting plants in here, so we won't need the entire box covered. And then we're going to make sure that everything is covered along that little edge where that red is exposed. So to get to that, we're just going to use a fine tipped paintbrush and apply more of that black acrylic paint until everything is nice and covered. Then you just repeat this for your second box. So once that is completely dry, we can go ahead and stain our boxes, and I'm going to be using this Jacobian stain by Minwax. Now I'm just going to take my little rag, and I am just going to apply the stain all over the box on all of the sides, and I just want to make sure that there's just one coat, making sure you wipe it clean after you apply your stain. And here is my box fully covered, and I noticed there were some gaps, so I'm taking a small toothbrush. I'm taking a small paintbrush and getting in all those little gaps. Now we're going to repeat this for our second box, and both boxes are fully stained, and we can sit these out to completely dry. Now once they are dry, we can go ahead and we're going to cover the bottoms. You guys know I love a finished project, so I have some of this black foam that I have, foam sheet. So I'm just going to apply some hot glue to the bottom of the containers. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick that container right on top of that black foam sheet and press it into place. And I'm going to repeat this for that second container as well. Now once it's fully adhered, go ahead and grab your cutting mat, and I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut them apart. And what I'm going to do now is just start trimming off all of that excess foam around the bottom of the container. And now you can see we have a nice finished bottom on our containers. I just think that this looks so clean and professional, and it doesn't display any of that retail information. So now we can go ahead and decorate our containers. So I have some of this onion grass that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put 2 bundles per container. Now, in order to fill up all that extra space in the container, I'm just going to stick some old used craft paper down into the container. You can use newspaper or bags, and you can also use floral foam to hold the onion grass, but I had a bunch of this styrofoam that I'm just going to go ahead and repurpose and stick down in the container. It's a little messy, but it'll work. Now I'm going to cover up that foam with a piece of black fabric that I just had left on my t-shirt project, and I cut a little hole in the middle where I can add my onion grass. And then I'm just going to stick those stems of onion grass down into that hole right in the center of that styrofoam. And then what I'm going to do to top it off is I'm going to grab some of these black rocks, and I got these from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to add them right around that onion grass. And here are both of those tall vases, complete with all of the trimmings. Now I have seen vases like these in retail stores for as much as $40, and these are highly comparable to their quality. And I love the little accents like the stone. It just really looks great in this project. Now you would never know that these were gift boxes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So now we're going to make a wood decorative box. Now for this project, we're going to need 1 box of this 72 count tumbling tower block set from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to lay out my Surebonder silicone mat and my straight edge. Go ahead and remove all of those blocks from the container. So you can stain ahead of time if you want to. I didn't have much time to do this, and I'm going to stain afterwards. Just be careful when adding your glue, and I'm going to be using wood hot glue by Surebonder. So we're going to start adhering some blocks together, and we're going to apply that hot glue along the side of the blocks, and we are ending up going to add about 12 blocks in this row. You just want to repeat the gluing process until you have all 12 blocks nice and even. Now once you have this first one done, we're going to do 3 more. Now you should have a total of 4 sets of 12. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be adhering together 6 blocks. Now we're going to make 2 sets of 6 blocks, and here are those completed. Now for the remaining blocks, we're going to be adhering 2 block sets together, and then we're going to be adhering 4 block sets together all on the sides. And here are those pieces all together, and now we can start assembling our box. So the first thing we're going to do is take those 2 long sides, and we want to lay it up on the sides, and then we're going to take the 2 short ones. Now we do want to line these up with a short pieces go a little bit inward towards the edge, not quite on the edge, a little bit inverted, just a little bit. Now once they're laid out, you want to go ahead and apply the hot glue to the block set and place those sides right into place. Now once both the side pieces are in place, go ahead and lay it back on its side, and we are going to start to add hot glue to that last 12 block piece. And then we're going to secure that in place on the side of the short blocks. Now here is our box frame all completed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the top trim. So we're taking one of those 4 block sets, and we're going to line it up along one of the long sides of the box, making sure the inside edge is nice and even with the block. And then we're going to add the 2 side pieces, again making sure that the inside edge is nice and even. Now the outside edge will overlap the block side. And then we're finally going to add that last long piece, and this should fit perfectly into place. Just apply that hot glue and sit that right into place. So now we're going to work on the bottom. So we're going to take those last two 12 block pieces and we're going to adhere those together right down the center. And then we're going to sit that right on the bottom, centered between the two sides of the box. Now just apply a generous amount of that hot glue along those short sides, and then you want to place that piece right in the center. And now our box is fully assembled. Now I did notice there's a tiny little gap on each side of the bottom, so in order to remedy that, I am going to grab a couple more of those bamboo skewers that I got, and I am just going to lay them on the side. I'm going to trim them to size, and to secure them, just run a thin bead of hot glue along that seam and press that bamboo skewer right into place. And we've done this for both sides. So now we're ready to stain our box, and I'll be using that same Jacobian stain by Minwax. I'm going to go ahead and start staining the box by staining the inside first, making sure that stain is applied nice and even. Then you want to do this for the inside and out of the box. And once you have it done, if you have any gaps, again, take that little tiny paintbrush and apply that stain in all those seams you couldn't reach. And now that it's done, we can sit it to completely dry. So now that it's dry, we can start to decorate our box. So I just chose to go with some succulents that I had on hand from the Dollar Tree. Now you can add some of these black rocks as an accent at the bottom, or you can add some white rocks. And I think I'm going to go with the white rocks for this project. So the box is very shallow, so I'm just going to fill that void with a little bit of this crumpled up craft paper, and I'm going to lay just a white paper towel right over the top. And then I'm just going to fill the rest up with some of these white rocks. And now I can just start adding all of my succulents into the box. However you want to arrange them, just do it to however your heart desires. And here is the final look. I think it is just so sweet. Now I love the color of the succulents and the wood, and it looks so awesome together. Now these tumbling blocks really look great in this project too, and they take stain very well. Now this box is twice the size of one of the Dollar Tree crates, so it's great to display a variety of different home decor accents. You have to give it a try. So now we'll make some wood trim decorative boxes. So I'm going to take the lids of those two containers we used to make the vases earlier in this video, and also a pack of these craft sticks that I got from Lowe's for 98 cents. So the first thing we're going to do, go ahead and open up those package of those jumbo craft sticks and just pull out a bunch and lay them to the side. What we're going to end up doing is placing those craft sticks on the side of the box, and we're just going to lay it on the side and trace out the size on the side of the craft stick. Now these are easy to cut with a pair of heavy-duty scissors, so we're just going to cut it to size and then lay it again on the box just to make sure you got your cuts correct. Now once you do, go ahead and cut 4 sticks that same size, and we're just going to adhere these to the side of the box with some hot glue. Now you want to place 2 sticks on each side, and that should cover the side pretty well. Now once that one side is done, flip it to the opposite side, and you want to place those 2 sticks on that side. Now once that's done, we're just going to repeat this on that second box. Now 2 sides on each box are done, we can do the remaining 2 sides. So just take your craft stick, lay it again on top of there, and this stick will be cut a little longer because it'll be overlapping the sticks we already applied. Just trace those lines and cut them out to fit. And then again, hot glue right into place. Now you do want to repeat this process until that side is done and all of the sides are done on all of the 2 tops. And now all of the wood is on all of our 4 tops of our containers. So I wanted to paint the containers, and being that these will have trinkets in and out of them all the time, I am going to paint all the exposed parts that are red with this black acrylic paint. I like to start on the outside, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint the entire inside of the container. Now once that's done, you want to make sure it dries and give it a second coat. Now once both containers are fully dry, you want to paint the bottom edge. Now if you do have a slight edge showing, go ahead and run along with that with a fine paintbrush, and now all our painting is nice and dry. So to make sure that that paint is nice and protected, I'm going to apply a coat of this matte Mod Podge that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I want to apply this on all of the areas that I painted. Now you want to be careful that you don't get it on the wood, because we will be staining that wood later. Now you do want to make sure you get a nice good coat on the inside and outside of those painted areas. And then repeat this for your second box. And now that they're all dry, we're going to go ahead and stain them again with the same stain, that Jacobian by Minwax, and we're just going to apply a layer of that stain on all of the wood areas of my 2 containers. Now you want to make sure you get that very top edge of that craft stick as well. And once both containers are nice and covered, we can move on to the next step. So when it's slightly dried, I went ahead and put on the bottom just like we did for the first containers. I just added that foam bottom to them to finish them off. And then I just cut and trim them off. And then now we have 2 areas that are nice and covered, and then I let them remain and sit out and dry. So now that they are fully dry, we can go ahead and decorate our containers. Now I'm just going to add some greenery and candles to mine. I think they would look super cute that way, but you could also add some of those rocks and succulents as well, and that would be adorable. So here is what I went with. I went with the candles, and they are decorated with all of that greenery. Now, of course, these are for display only, so be sure to use battery operated candles if you want a lighted effect. Now, I can't believe how awesome these box lids turned out. They really look high end. Now, I had so much fun with these projects today. It is so always hard for me to choose a favorite, so let me know in the comments which one is your favorite today. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now, if you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, you want to make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button in the bottom corner of this video, or click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and then click on that little bell. It's absolutely free. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.